with.
Harry, his wife,
Appreciate you guys
and
listening.
partner in podcasting and ministry. Hello.
Appreciate you guys listening today. This is going to be episode 10, and we're going to be answering one of our listeners, one of our users of Death to Life's question. Does my life actually have purpose, or am I just here? That's a pretty profound, important question that I think that we all need to ask at some time. Do you agree?
Yeah, I would venture to guess that many people ask that or think that or have it kind of humming below the surface um, at some point in their life or maybe even every day. So I'm so glad that you asked this question um, and that we can talk about it because Um, Mario sent me this question a couple weeks ago. These are some podcast topics we're going to cover here. And so I've really been spending a lot of time with God on this. Like, what would you want us to say? What do you want us to talk about? And it's been so good. I'm so glad that we're talking about this because it's been so good to really listen to God and think about it and pour over scripture and all of that. So I'm excited to talk about it.
Right on. All right, well, let's get going.
Where should we begin?
What are your initial thoughts when you were posed with that question personally? How did you answer that question?
Well, I have a couple ways I can start. One is I wrote something and I can read it, or I could tell you what I think our purpose is, everybody's purpose. Where would you want me to start? Or I can summarize what I wrote.
Why don't you summarize what you wrote,
Okay.
please?
So what I wrote is about our daughter Reese, she was born with multiple significant disabilities. She required total care her whole life, and which means she couldn't eat on her own. She couldn't use the restroom. She relied on us for absolutely everything. And, one of the things I wrote was that she never held a job. She never completed homework. She never gave a speech. She never earned money. She never worked toward a career. I can't talk about Reese without crying.
Well, the bottom line, I mean, that you're getting emotional about it. Your pain is not proof that you're worthless. We've gone through a lot of pain, and there are people listening and struggling with a lot of stuff going on right now, and they're in a lot of pain, and they think because I'm in a lot of pain, I have zero worth. I'm worthless. So I think the fact that you're able to share, um, and it's heavy. It will always be heavy talking about our daughter Reese because it's what happened to us. It personalizes it. But just because you're in pain doesn't mean you're worthless. So, and I know that was some people have asked that before. And I know that's an issue. So go ahead. I wanted to give you a breath.
Well, and I'm crying because I miss her, but I think that, the worthless part is that our society, like I struggled so much with that fact that like our society feels like if you don't do those things, then like what's your purpose? Like why are you here? And I really think that so much of our society is focused on like what can you produce and like where are you going in life? And that's how we see purpose is like what do you do for a living and like how much money do you make? And um Reese did not do those things and that wasn't a part of her life. And so like I struggled. I didn't see her that way, but I struggled like being in the world with a world that values that. And but what I came to know, and we came to know in our small little world here, was that she was fulfilling her purpose every day, and her purpose was love. And she had a unique way of making the person in front of her just feel like they were the most important person in the world. And it was that feeling of like, when you walk into a party and your good friend is like, oh, you're here, and like comes over, like that great feeling, like, oh my gosh, like I'm the most important person here, that amazing feeling. And that's what Reese did. Like you'd walk into the room and it was like she would light up and you felt love in her presence because she was loving and that was her purpose in the world was to love. And she would see the person in front of her, appreciate the person in front of her. And what I've learned from Reese is that her purpose is also my purpose and your purpose. She knew she was completely loved, and all of us are completely and fully loved by God. I think that's one of the hardest things to really accept is like we are already completely loved. And when you accept that, you no longer need to live a me first life. And I think that this is like what's so important to me is like we are free to live. We don't have to live me first, me first. We can live a there you are life. And that's what Reese taught me. Like that's her purpose is to I think we're all born with that me first nature. I was thinking we were just with our granddaughter she is a perfect little angel. She's a perfect little angel, but like she was born with a me first nature. And I know that because like when she is hungry or whatever, she cries for her mom and she's not thinking, my mom needs some extra sleep today, so I'm not going to cry. Like, no, she's like has a nature that's like, take care of me. And then we spend the rest of our lives, with the grace of God, we're held in his hand. He teaches us how to do this to be like, no, you're first. I'm putting you first. And to break that nature, like that's our responsibility is to break that me first nature. And I think that is the core of all of our purpose.
You said, I mean, you were talking about your purpose of, what you do for a living, how much you make, your influence, all that. But the fact is just your existence. Your existence alone means you have a purpose. And if you take anything from, we'll always be talking about Reese, but the bottom line with Reese is that the world would look at her and would say, what was her purpose? She couldn't walk, she couldn't talk. She struggled on a daily basis with seizures. Like Carrie said, she never held a job. She never went on a date. She, from what the world looks at and goes, this is what success looks like, she didn't achieve that. But Reese transformed our lives in a very significant way. And if you're listening today and you feel that you're too deep in your pain, you're struggling way too much, just take the stories that we share about our daughter Reese and understand that we all have a purpose. No matter what you're going through today, your existence already is an example of you having a purpose, right?
Yeah, I think that you're alive for a reason. And I think that that reason is to love. And we get to choose if we do that or not. And I think that in choosing that purpose that God designed for us, like that is our purpose to love God, to learn how to love God, and to learn how to live a loving life on behalf of the people in front of us.
So love him and loving others. I mean, it sounds as simple as
And I want to unpack it though, because it sounds simple. You hear it a lot. If you're in church, you hear it a lot. I'm gonna be honest, I don't see it a lot. I see people saying they love God and love others, but then living a very me-centered life, and I think that that is what love is breaking that and living a you-centered life, and so I wanna talk about what love is and what it's not,
well,
and how that relates to our purpose.
okay, before we do that, let's give it a little different perspective. Let's say there's somebody listening, which is I know it's the fact that somebody doesn't believe in God. Someone doesn't believe in the Bible. Someone doesn't believe what we believe, that Jesus was who he says he was and he existed. What if somebody doesn't have a faith? What would you say to them if they're reaching out to us and saying, okay, I have zero purpose. I have zero worth. I don't believe in your God.
Right. Well, we can address that. And then if you don't believe in God, and we come across people all the time who don't, they want help for where they are in a struggle, in suicidality, and just feeling like I don't even know why I'm here. And if that's you, like I am so sorry you're in that place. And we respect where everybody is. But I can only offer what I believe to be true. And I believe you are here because you are loved. You are here because you are loved. And because you are loved, it's your responsibility to love the people in front of you. So I want to just talk about like, if you don't believe in God, I'm telling you that you are loved and love comes from God. So any of us who has an ability to love, to ever put anyone before ourselves, that is coming from God, whether you believe it or not.
Right.
But I want to say like our purpose is always found in other people. And what I mean by that is you are being presented with opportunities all day long to give. People are dying for what you have.
Not saying that your purpose is to people's approval.
No, no, no. Your purpose is not going to be found in yourself. Your purpose is in the way you treat other people.
Right.
So, like, you're presented with opportunities all day long, and people you come in contact with, starting with your family, it starts with your family and it extends to whoever you come in contact with. Those people you come in contact with need what you have, and what you have to give is love. Even if you feel like you're barely hanging on, you have love to give. And you might be saying, wow, 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 like whatever, but I just want you to just listen and I just want you to test this out for 1 week. If you are just feeling like, I don't even know why I'm here, I have no purpose. There's nothing in me that's good. I hear you. And I just want you to, even if you don't believe anything I'm saying, I want you just to test this out for a week, to just pay attention to the people who come across your path. And I want you to think about what would make this person feel loved, whether it's just a smile, it's saying hello, it's asking them questions about themselves for their sake and listening, thinking about what does this person need to feel loved in this moment? Just try it and see what it does in you and in them. You start by just touching the life closest to you and with love as your purpose. Any thoughts on that?
Purpose isn't always something, we're always looking for our purpose. It's not always something huge, or loud. It's not, I get my purpose. I mean, it can be something really subtle, like just deciding to stay another day, just deciding, all right, I'm going to hold on for another day. Or, like you said, helping an individual, reaching out to an individual that's hurting, or even though you're hurting. I mean, we hear this all the time about people that have survived some gnarly, gnarly things. Surviving your most difficult circumstances is an example of a purpose. Learning how to breathe again. I mean, when we were going through the death of our child, that was a perfect example for me to be able to be like, okay, all right, I'm breathing, so I do have a purpose. It might take a bit, it might take a while, but Carrie's points will definitely benefit you.
Well, I think we're kind of talking about two separate things. Purpose, like you are
Well, ask me a
here.
question. Ask me a
You're
question what you're
here
thinking.
for a purpose, but I'm saying, like, think what like, you alluded to this, that people look for their purpose inside themselves. And I think each of us is gifted differently. Like, a lot of times people
Correct.
follow their gifts and they think, well, this is my purpose in the world. But when we follow our gifts for our own sake,
But if you don't believe you have any gifts,
right. So some people don't feel like
it's
they're
not
like,
like the light goes off. I have a gift of surfing.
right. Or if someone's like, I'm so gifted at, business or making money or art or whatever. Like, if some people are like, I don't have any gifts, I don't know why I'm here. But I think those are two separate things. I think our giftings that are related to, like, this is what I'm good at, this is what I do. You can have giftings, but it's not what you do, it's why you do it. And I think this is like the most important thing.
But I'm thinking when the people ask the question, what is my purpose? Why am I here? Why do I exist?
I'm
I
saying
th-
you're here to love.
but I think
That's what I'm
I think
saying.
that individual is like, okay, give me a simple answer of why I shouldn't end my life. I don't believe I have
Okay, so
purpose.
that's like a different question.
Well, not really. I
Well,
mean,
if
it's
you're
not
saying like, why shouldn't I end my life is different from like, what is my purpose? And I'm saying your purpose is to love the person in front of you. And let me define love, because
okay. Go ahead.
it's not like, oh, I'm going to be nice. Love is, and I'm going to read, basically this is love. I'm going to read it. I'm going to tell you in a nutshell so you can always remember this. Love is you come first. It's unselfishness.
Okay.
Love is you first. And the opposite of that is not hate, it's fear. Fear is me first. And it really is that simple. So I want you to just like You first is love. Okay. So in 1 Corinthians 13, you can go read it. Actually, I'm going to read it. Uh, I'll read it at some point. Oh,
Go ahead.
okay. Can you pull it up for me? 1 Corinthians 13.
Why don't you summarize?
So love is doing what is truly best for someone else without regard for myself. And so it's others focused and fears me focused. Like when we're living out our purpose, we think my purpose is, I don't know, give me a purpose that someone might be like, this is my purpose in life. My purpose
My purpose
is,
is to be a coach.
okay, so if my purpose is to be a coach, it's not what you're doing, it's why you're doing it. If you're becoming a coach so that you can gain fame and notoriety and everyone's like, he's the greatest, he's the best coach, and he's making a ton of money, like that's for you. That's not for anyone else. But someone
Right?
else could be, I want to be a coach.
So impact
And
lives.
it's because I love impacting people. I love taking care of my family. It's for their sake. I mean, it can be for their sake. It can be, um, I love, I don't know, anything that's for somebody else's sake. I love doing this for the sake of my family so that they can fill in the
Well,
blank.
you're basically saying, what are your intentions always? Is it me focused
Yeah.
or is it others focused?
And I
And if it's not, if it's me focused, you're screwed. I mean, because you're going to continue to go down that of me, 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 me. If it's others focused, if we learn to, because I know, I mean, I'm a follower of Jesus, and it's very difficult to love people. Very, very difficult to love people all the time.
Yeah, it's a struggle because our nature is me first.
Right.
It's our nature. We're born into a nature that says me first. And it really is that simple. Like that is fear. That is fear that if I don't put myself first, I'm not going to get what I need and want. Like it's just fear. And love, and I think that that's our responsibility in life is to break that nature with the grace of God. Like we can only do it. We do it by the power of God. That's why I'm saying like even if you say you don't believe in God, your ability to put someone before yourself, your ability to love someone comes from God. It is so against our nature. So when we submit to God, He works through us, He loves through us and enables us to break that nature. Like, I think the first step is to ask yourself, and this is like the other thing, like test this for a week. Everything you do, whether it's like relationally, anything that involves another person, ask yourself, why am I doing it? And be honest. So, like, even if it's like, I'm being kind to this person at the grocery store. Ask yourself, why am I doing this? Is it for her sake or is it for my sake so I look nice or people think I'm this or people think, you can right away if you pause and ask yourself, why am I doing it?
Right.
And it's not what you're doing because being kind to the cashier is a great thing, but it's not what you're doing, it's why.
And it's not, you're not beating yourself up going, okay, I wanted to be nice to this person because I wanted to get something in return. That's, you don't beat yourself up and shame yourself of like, oh my gosh, I'm a horrible person.
No,
I have no purpose. But
no.
just to be aware of what your intentions are.
And that's how you start like practicing living a loving life. Like, oh, I did that for me.
All right, I got a question for you though. What if somebody is they have zero love for themselves? I hate myself. How am I going to love another person if I hate myself?
Well, that's a great question. I think, and you can push back on me, but I think a lot of self hatred comes from fear and being like self focused. So I think one way out of self hatred is to start looking outward and to start noticing the people in front of you. So you may hate yourself. You may think, I hate myself. I can't even stand. And I think you can still love people, and it's actually a way out of self-hatred because when we are trapped in self-hatred, it is a form of self-centeredness, and I don't mean that in a condemning way. I just mean we're thinking about ourselves all the time. And if you can start practicing, and I'll tell you a little bit story that like showed this to me. If you can just start practicing one person at a time, whether it's someone in your home or someone at work or that you come across in your day, just start practicing. doing what's truly best for that person, whether it's like just smiling and saying hello, even if you don't want to, but like, you're so good about this. Like when we go hiking and stuff, like always saying hello to everybody. And just because you never know what they're going through, I have something they need. Like I've heard you say that. And I'm like, sometimes it's uncomfortable because I'm like, they don't look like they want to talk,
Right.
but it's like, it's loving. It's like everybody needs. And so I think even if you don't believe that you're loved, but I'm telling you, you are, I promise. This is another thing I want you to do for 1 week. I've given you a lot of stuff, but one is just sit quietly with God. Start with 2 minutes. Sit in silence. You can set a timer for 2 minutes, 5 minutes, 10 minutes and say, "God, will you show me how much you love me?" And just sit with him. Just sit with him with the only intention, God, will you just love me right now? And just sit with him and let him just sit in love. And I just want you to just practice it. Um, because I'm telling you the truth is you are loved. You are loved by love. God is love. You are fully loved. He loves you so much. And he gives us the ability to love other people. I'm like, that's that's what we are to do. We are to partner with him in loving the people around us. That is our mission in life. However we do it, whether we're a football coach or we're digging ditches or we're a physician, whatever you think is an important role in the world, we can do it all for the sake of other people or we can do it for ourselves.
All right, let me ask you this. I mean, is it wrong if I'm going to treat you well? I'm going to love you. I'm going to be very intentional with showing you how much you're loved and how much I love you. But my intentions for doing that are selfish because
That's not
I
love.
know,
That's not love.
well,
It's
I see that still being a blessing to you. I can see that if, okay, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. I'm going to treat her because I mean, honestly, when we're hiking, and I'm smiling at people, I mean, it gives me joy. It gives me joy. When I see somebody with their head down and
well,
in a
yeah.
horrible, horrible mood,
That's because you're fulfilling your purpose of love. And God's not gonna if we are fulfilling our purpose of love, our purpose is to love. And love does not when we give to get, it's not love, it's fear. That's not love. Love gives for the sake of the other person without regard for
I
itself.
think there can still be a huge blessing if you're like, you know what? I don't feel like loving anyone today. I'm not in a very good place today, but you know what? I love how I feel when I share with somebody how much I love them or
Well,
encourage them. I think
and
it
let
can
me ask
be
you
a
this.
supernatural
It's
kind of
not what you're
fruit.
doing, it's why you're doing it. Are you doing it for yourself or are you doing it for them?
I think ultimately you're doing it for yourself because it makes you feel like you have purpose.
Well, I would
And
say
in turn will bless that other person.
well, here's the thing.
I think that's the whole
If
purpose of Jesus's teachings.
if you do it for them, that's love. If you reach out to someone, even though you're struggling,
Right,
whatever, but someone comes to mind, and I know you do this a lot, like you'll text me like thinking about you, love you, and you're doing it for their sake because you care about them.
right.
That's love. And if we do it to get love, it's not love. We just killed love in the process. It's selfishness. It's if we are giving to get, that is not love, that's fear.
I don't
If we are giving for the sake of another, that is love. But what God does is because he's wired it this way, like, I want you to love other people. This is your mission in life is to love. In loving, it's the best thing that can happen to us to live
so let me
alone.
rephrase it this way. Jesus says, I mean, it's a selfless everything we do is supposed to be selfless and loving others and loving him. That's I mean, it commands. I mean, it's one of the things in scripture that Jesus actually commanded. If I think if our heart is, okay, I'm going to be obedient to what Jesus says, because I know if I'm obedient to what Jesus says and me loving others, the fruit of that is going to bless me. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I don't think Jesus says, hey, you know what? To love others, there's a
Love,
benefit for me too.
we have to define what love is.
Okay, if let's say you're an
Love
individual. Say you're an
well, let
individual.
me just say this. Does what's best for you without regard for me.
No, but I know, but I'm
And
following
fear
what.
but listen, fear does what's best for me without regard for you,
So if Jesus says, okay, love others,
which is do what's best for them.
okay, and love me, okay, and I'm like, okay, I don't feel like doing that today. My flesh, man, I feel really selfish today, but I want to be obedient to Jesus because I know if I'm obedient to him and if I love others, it's going to benefit me too.
Yeah, it will. But
I mean, that's what I'm
you're
saying. I
doing
mean,
it
it's
for the sake
no, I
of
don't think there's anything wrong with that though. I'd much rather somebody say, I want to love somebody. I want to love somebody.
love is for their sake.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
what I'm just trying to get that.
But I don't think it disqualifies somebody if they were to say, okay, you know what? My heart is not in the right place, but I want to be obedient to what Christ says. And I
Yes,
know that the fruit of that is going to benefit them
that is
and
a
also
fruit.
me.
But I'm saying do it for them and
Yeah.
do it for God.
I hear what you're saying.
And
I'm just
what
pushing
he
back a bit.
does is the fruit of living a loving life is the feeling of love. That's the fruit that comes from it.
No, I totally agree
When
with
you
you.
do what's best for someone else without regard for yourself, like when you don't feel like it, and love always involves sacrifice. It
Right.
always involves some sacrifice of like killing our own like selfish desire. It always involves that. And in doing it, God gives us the feelings of love. That's why it feels good to do it. But if we do it for the feeling, we just did it for ourselves. Like we're not doing it for the feeling. We're doing it for the sake of the other person. And in that, we build feelings of love. It's not what you do, it's why you do it. Just sit with it for a week. It's not what you do, it's why you do
No,
it.
I
And
agree with you. Agree with you.
examine your heart. What I'm learning and what I'm seeing is our responsibility is to learn how to live a loving life that is focused on the people around us and how and what they need and and how we're partnering with God in that. When God says this person needs this, go do it. We get to partner with God.
The whole purpose of doing that is the fruit that it gives us. That's the whole purpose of what God says. If I'm loving, it isn't a one-way thing. It's not a one-way deal. Like if somebody's hurting and somebody's really, really struggling, and I'm like, man, you know what? I'm gonna really encourage them today. I'm gonna really encourage them today. In my heart, I know, man, that's gonna benefit them. And ultimately it's gonna benefit me too. So it doesn't mean there's selfishness or fear or anything. I mean, why would anyone? I mean, this is a serious question. Let me ask you. Let's say somebody that doesn't follow scripture or doesn't believe in God says, why would I ever do that if I'm not getting anything in return? If it's not going to bless me in return? Do you know what I'm saying?
Well, because it is the purpose of life and because you're not you're not going to be left high and dry. Like this is the way God has designed the world. You will reap the fruits of love, but if you do it for in order to get, you've just killed the love in your life. And it's like he designed it this way. So it's in when we do things for our own benefit, it will never go well. It will never go well. It will never give what it promises to give. When we do things for the benefit of others, it will always return more than you think. But if you do it for your own sake, it will never pay off. It will always end in a disappointing way. If you build a life that is for you, it will always end in disappointment. And I will die on that hill that our purpose is to love, and love is unselfish.
I'm just looking at it from the individual that's reaching out to us, that's
Well, that's what
saying
I'm saying. It's like if
it's
you,
not easy. They don't have love for themselves. And so why would I love?
I'm
But you're
saying,
telling me that it's going to ultimately bless me. It will make me a better person.
well, yes, because each of us is designed to live our purpose. And in living our purpose, and this is what it says on Reese's gravestone is like loved deeply, deeply loved. And it's like, If we love to get love, it's not love. But in loving, in being a loving person, in loving for the sake of others, you will be loved because people love people who love them. Yes, that's how we build love. That's how we build love in our lives. You know the feeling. I know the feeling when someone is being kind to me for something other than my sake.
Right.
You know it when you see it. And you also know it when
But
someone's
I
being
also but I also appreciate that, and that blesses me. That blesses me even if I'm like, "Man, you know what? It doesn't seem like their intentions are really pure right now," but it still blesses me. I mean, if I get a phone call, if I get a text message and, "Hey, how you doing?" type thing, I mean, it does bless me, but I can only hope and pray that, man, I hope they feel blessed. Even when they don't feel very loving, that God will use it in a supernatural way to bless them. You know what I mean? I mean, is do you understand what I'm saying at all? I'm trying to come from the perspective of the person that's reaching out to us that doesn't, yeah, just the idea is just to love everybody and to be selfless love. And, well, I mean, we see the people that reach out to us on a daily basis and they hate life. They hate the people around them. They hate themselves. But we're telling you to become a healthier individual, to finally feel like you have a purpose. These are some steps to take. And if it means like you're saying, and I agree with you 100%. I mean, I get it, but I know that there are individuals out there that are like, okay, so if I don't have any love for anyone, I don't have any love for me. Okay, so if I go to somebody and send them a text message and say, "Hey, I'm thinking about you. I love you." I think there's huge benefit to that individual that does that, even if they don't feel.
Yeah, absolutely, because that's what we're made for, is
I
that's a
agree.
sacrifice, like, I don't feel like it, but, like, I feel like this person needs this text. That's a sacrifice, like, I don't feel like doing this, but I'm doing it for their sake, and in doing that, it is simple, that's what I'm saying, it is simple. In doing that, you feel the feelings of love,
Right.
like, and they feel the
Yeah,
feelings
that's
of love, but I'm saying that, like, we need to pause and examine our own hearts. Why am I doing this? Am I doing it for me? Am I doing it for them? Okay, I want to be the kind of person who does it for them. How can I do it for them? And just examining that heart. I've just noticed that, like, well, should we make it part two?
yeah. We'll talk about it in the next episode, but I think it's this can be a fire hose of information for somebody, especially the individual that sent us this question. They're on the verge of falling off a cliff, and all of a sudden they're being told the thing that you have to do is just to love people.
Well, I
And
think
I
that's
think
like such a simple, hopeful answer.
no, it
It's
is a
not like what
very
you have to
simple.
do is go get, find your gifting. Like, I'm just saying you have it. Like, you're here
Amen.
and I promise
I
you
agree with
this
that.
is the reason you're here. The next person you come, I'm just saying it's such a simple, beautiful purpose that every one of us can do, whether we're, the genius scientist or whatever, or we are severely disabled. Like, we all have this beautiful purpose of seeing the person in front of us and just seeing them.
Right.
Even if it's just seeing them and looking them in the eyes and smiling at them and saying hello, we are fulfilling our purpose. And I think when we're fulfilling our purpose, it changes everything. It changes everything. And I'm just saying, I think just practice it. Just practice it for 1 week.
So you're saying your instructions are to sit alone, to sit quietly.
Yeah, sit quietly for 2 minutes a day. If you can do 5, if you can do 10, if you can do 20, and
That's
just
no phone.
sit in
Just
silence.
sit in
Set a
silence.
timer so you have to look at your phone and just say, God, I just want to feel you. I want to experience your love.
Right.
Can you just love me right now? And if you can, just like believe, like, I believe you love me. I just want to sit with your loving presence right now and let him love you. And then the other thing I just want you to do is everything you do in regards to another person, I want you to ask yourself, why am I doing this? Is it love or is it fear? Is it me first or is it you first? And then, if as you're out and about, just like look people in the eyes, smile, say hello for their sake. Like, this person needs what you have. I promise you they need what you have.
Right.
And that
But on the flip side of that too, I'm giving a little pushback today. Mm,
you are pushing back a
Um,
lot.
there's that voice in your head that says, "My gosh, you're doing this for you," and there's shame.
Right, and then you can be like, "Okay, I am doing it for me. I wanna do it for them. I wanna see this person for them."
Right.
And you can turn it around in a second.
And that shame doesn't come
You
from
can
God.
turn it
The shame
Yeah.
doesn't come from God.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
I
for
mean, that's not
sure.
that shame is coming
And that's
from
all I'm saying
pit
is,
of
like,
freaking hell.
all I'm saying is just asking yourself that question is, like, the first step to just noticing.
And it is baby steps.
It's
It's
just
little
noticing,
steps every
because I
day.
think 90% of people aren't asking themselves that. They're just living life, and I think it's
Even
just
people in the church.
a
Even people
simple
in the
question of
church.
why am I doing it? Is it for me or is it for them? And if we can start to shift, like, okay, how can I do it for them instead of for me? I want to become the kind of person who is you first and not me first. And it's beautiful to be with those people, and it's beautiful to be that person.
Right.
It feels right because that's how we were made. We were made to be that person.
But the bottom line is that it's gonna take time. This isn't something that you just listen today and be like, "Great, tomorrow I gotta start." No, just baby steps, little steps in implementing
Yeah, do
what we're
one thing.
sharing.
Do one thing today that's like for the benefit of someone else.
Send a text message to somebody that you love that you may think is hurting
Yeah.
right now or struggling. Just say, "Hey, I love you. I'm thinking about you." I mean, I mean, I think about this often. I'm like, okay, if there's a homeless guy in the corner and I have $5, I don't know what he's going to do with that $5, but I like how I feel when I give that to him. Like I know it's going to bless him when he says, "God bless you."
Yeah, but you're saying what I'm saying
No, I know.
because
I'm just
what's
for our listeners.
happening there is, like, you're skipping over something. You're not doing it for your sake. You're not doing it so that you look like a good guy or you feel like you're a good person. You're doing it because God moved you to do something for this individual
Right.
without regard for yourself.
Right.
And his blessing is the feeling of love. Like, the blessing is I feel love because I just gave love.
Yeah.
That's a blessing that God gives us, but it's not our motivation. If you're doing it for the fruit of it, you've just kind of bypassed like that middle part. So, like,
I think there's a common ground though with that. I don't think it's just one or the other.
I know you've
I
said that
think
several times. I
I
think
know, but
we
I
can
do think
circle back. We can circle back. So let's make a part 2 on this, because
let's hit the main.
unfortunately, I have a lot more to
All
say
right,
on this subject.
we'll do a part two. But for those of you that need some little encouragement, for those of you that need some a little bit of a little nudge of love and some truth that you are loved, reach out to us. Go to death2life.com. That's a death, the number two, life.com, and speak to one of our peer support peeps. They'd love to talk to you.
And you're welcome to give us feedback. We would love to hear your feedback
Yeah, I agree with Mario,
on
or I
this
agree with
podcast.
Carrie.
Yeah, vote for Carrie.
Uh,
We will revisit. I want what I want you to hear is, like, this is the most simple, hopeful
right,
message.
I agree with that.
Your purpose is love, to love God and to love the person in front of you.
It's one of the
And
it's
love
so
is not,
simple,
I
but
really
it's
hate the
the
English
most
language
difficult.
because we have one word for love and we use the same word for, like, I love chocolate cake and for I love my child. Like,
Are you going to agape?
yeah, I just wish we had different, but, like, love that I'm talking about is the love that, would lay down its life for someone. You don't need to lay down your life for everybody, but, like, that is doing what's truly best for someone else without regard for yourself.
Amen. Carrie and I
And
got to experience that kind of love every day with our daughter Reese. I mean, when she looked at you and smiled, and she wanted to be around you with nothing in return, she knew that. I mean, that was the most
and that's
profound
that's where I
example of
started
love.
there. 'Cause she taught me that
I know, but not everybody has a blessing
I know,
that
but
we
what
had
I'm
with Reese.
saying is, like, that's why I started there because she was not loving to get.
I don't think we would really truly understand what love
She
looks
was
like if we didn't
loving
have Reese.
for your sake. She was lighting up for you.
I love you in spite of you, Dad.
but also, like, she wasn't trying to be seen in a certain way. She was just she was love. She became love by loving.
Right.
And that's what I think our responsibility is, like, practice being the kind of person who sees other people first, and then in that, we become love.
I agree.
And
I wish all of you could have experienced the love that we experienced with our daughter Reese. But one of the cool things is that that's what Death to Life is. It's fruit that we experienced with Reese. I mean, the fruit of her love, and we pray that you experience the love that we've experienced through our resources and our peer support, and maybe listening to this podcast. We are absolutely grateful for you listening to this podcast, and we'll do a part 2 on this. Obviously, Carrie has a ton to say, and I'm looking forward to hearing that. We love you guys, appreciate you, and we'll catch you on the next episode, part 2. Thanks, guys.
Thanks for listening to the From Death2Life podcast. If you're hurting, losing hope, or barely holding on, reach out right now at death2life.com. Real people, real conversations, 24/7. And if you believe in what we're doing, partner with us through the Save a Life project. For just $30 a month, you can help sponsor 3 hurting people with life-saving support when they need it most. Visit joinsavealife.com. If you've got a question you'd like for us to answer on the podcast about life, faith, grief, mental health, or anything heavy you're carrying, email us at 411@death2life.com. Stay with us. Hope isn't dead. We'll catch you on the next episode of the From Death to Life podcast.